What's a popular red flag for a toxic person? Well, I want you to think about gaslighting and crazy making. Do you know what those are? So gaslighting, sometimes people don't have an idea. So gaslighting came from an older film where it's the idea that you communicate something to someone so often, or you show them or demonstrate something so often that they start to believe something that's not true. Even more so to the fact that you have them believe something that you know to be true or that they know to be true, but you tell them it's false. Okay? Gaslighting could be as simple as me saying, I am not wearing a blue shirt. And you're like, yeah, you're wearing a blue shirt. Of course it's a blue shirt. Be like, no, like I'm not wearing a blue shirt. Like, I don't know what you're talking about. This is not a blue shirt. And the person's like, but you're wearing a blue shirt. I see the blue shirt on you. Like, there's no way you can say like it's not a blue shirt and be like, yeah, like I can because I'm not wearing a blue shirt. Like, I'm not sure what's going through your head right now, but like this is not blue. So there might be something wrong with your eyesight, or there might be something wrong with your perception, but in all reality, like this is not a blue shirt. So like I don't understand what your problem is. Be like, I can see, like I understand this is a blue shirt. Like, why won't you understand? Why won't you admit that it's a blue shirt? It's not a blue shirt. And that back and forth kind of happens in a relationship, not just over something like petty, like the color of my shirt, but over like big things. And those big things could be cheating. They could be finding something on the computer or something on the phone. They could be how you're treating another person, how they're treating you. Could be all these different things that match up to an idea of being a giant red flag when it comes to dealing with a toxic person, when they're saying that something is not true when you know that it is. Did you ever have that when you're in like a conversation and someone says something and then later you recount it and you're like, yeah, you said this, and they're like, I didn't say that, and you go back and forth and you're just like confused. You're just like, I don't understand, like what's going on. I had this happen when I was in the relationship with the girl who had BPD and narcissistic traits. We went through a period of time where we got together and we watched movies, and we watched the Pirates of the Caribbean, like all the movies, like back to back, like one a week in one sense. And during this time got to a place where she knew it, I knew it, other people knew that like these movies had happened, and months down the road mentioned to her, like, yeah, do you remember like when we did this? And she was like, what are you talking about? And I'm like, we watched the movies together. And she's like, no, we didn't. Like, I haven't watched those with you. And I'm like, I feel like I'm going crazy. I'm like, no, like I remember like we watched them. And she's like, no, like maybe with someone else, but like I wasn't there. Like that didn't happen. I'm like, no, it definitely did, because I remember. I was like, you were there, like so-and-so was there, so-and-so was there. Like, I remember, and like these people remember that happened. And even other people chimed in, they were like saying like, yeah, like this happened, don't you remember? And they were like, no, like it didn't happen. And it was making me like doubt myself, making me think like I'm crazy. And I even went back and I was like, no, like remember, like we couldn't find this one on different streaming platforms, so like actually had to get the DVD. Like, here's the DVD, like I couldn't get it open. Like there's this whole thing that I remember doing. But the other person was like, no, like, what are you talking about? Like, that didn't even happen. Like, you're sounding crazy because that didn't even happen. And that's what that gaslighting looks like, demonstrates, feels. When you're in the moment and you're striving and you're grasping for something, you're like, I know this is real. But the other person is like, no, it's not. And it makes you start to doubt like your reality, your perception of like, am I actually seeing what's going on here? Am I able to trust myself with my gut, with my intuition, with my eyesight, with what I'm hearing? I had a client that I was talking to on one-on-one, and they got to the place where they were having a discussion in the kitchen, and they had securities cameras. And the person said something, and they were like, I can't believe you just said that. And they were like, what are you talking about? Like, I didn't say that. They took the iPad and like pulled it up and like played the video for the other person and said like, listen. And they played the video. The person could hear what they said, and they looked at him and said, I didn't say that. And she was like, what do you mean? Like, it's right here. Like, I can see you. I can see your lips moving. I can hear the words that's coming out of your mouth. And she hit play again. She was like, listen. He's like, no, I didn't say that. Like, she's saying, so like the camera's wrong, like the video's wrong. He's like, yeah, I didn't say that. So much to the point that she had to take the iPad to her friends, to her family, and play the video clip, and then ask them, what did this person say? Just to be able to make sure that she was sane, that she wasn't going crazy, because she would watch the video over and over again and say, like, this is what that person said, but the person kept saying, like, no, I didn't say that. That's not me. Like, I don't know what you're talking about. Like, that's not being said. Those are some of the examples about gaslighting that make you feel crazy. Did you have that? Was it something that you had in your life where you're starting to doubt your reality? You're starting to doubt your perception. You're starting to doubt, wait a second, did they say that? Did they do that? And what happens is you start to doubt that to such a level that you start to doubt yourself and your intuition, like I was just saying. And what that does is it traps you a little bit longer, because as you start to lessen your thought process on your instinct, on your gut, on your intuition, and you start to lower those defenses, and it allows for that person to control you more, to manipulate you more, to be able to say, no, this is what's happening, and you believe it. Because at that point you start to doubt yourself because of what they've said, how they've devalued or degraded you, and you've said, this must be what's going on because, my judgment's impaired. They obviously know what they're talking about because they can remember. I just have bad memory. Are any of these things like triggering? Or any of these things like popping out, like different thoughts or different expressions? Maybe you're going through this in a relationship and you're like, wait a second, like I feel like I can identify with that. If it is, do me a favor, like leave a comment below, like just like a sentence. It doesn't matter. Just leave like a comment so that other people know, because I think a lot of people watch these videos and they watch them and they take them in and then they're like, yeah, that happens to me, but sometimes they don't identify with it. Sometimes they don't share. And as a result, you have one person that watches this video and they glance at it and they're like, yeah, but that's probably just me. Like there's probably not a whole bunch of, there's a lot of people out there that are dealing with this kind of stuff. Let people know. Let people know. We do this every single day with producing different media to go out, whether that's on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, to try to be able to educate people about these abusive relationships. We recently developed a little while ago the NARC app, NARC, Narcissistic Abuse Recovery Community. It's meant for people to go as a safe place for people who have been abuse survivors, who can learn about narcissism, who can track their growth, who can record their truth, who can track their no contact from the narcissist, who engage in community, who can get into exclusive lives so that there's no way that other people can see them, but it's lives that are actually inside the app. Be able to meet monthly with Zoom calls so that we can set like a focus and a goal moving forward to try to help people grow, heal, and change. Because this stuff is real. And a lot of people don't realize that it's out there. A lot of people don't realize that it is happening on a day-to-day basis, that someone is gaslighting you, someone is making you feel crazy. A lot of times they'll take this and they'll change it around saying that you're too sensitive, that you're oversensitive, that you're overreacting, that you're blowing things out of proportion, that you really don't know what you're talking about. When in reality you do. But over a period of time, your resilience to that has gotten lowered. Your ego has gotten bruised. Your self-confidence and self-worth have been devalued and a lot of times discarded. So when you think about this and when you go through it, think through what is happening in my life that I'm starting to question, is this actually true? What reality are you living in where you're living in a spot that's saying, hey, this hasn't happened. This isn't happening. But when you start investigating, when you're starting to look a little bit different, you're like, wait a second, is that what I know? Or is that just the perception that has been placed upon me by another person? Gaslighting is real. And it's very, very deadly in its abuse. Because it comes very quickly, and it makes you very confused, and it lowers your thought process and your idea of who you are, of what you're worth, and of a plethora of different things that make you question your reality. If you're questioning your reality today, I want to encourage you to start journaling, to start writing down the truth that you see every single day, to start writing down phrases or experiences or things that are happening You might need to do a video log to remind yourself so you can watch it back and say, hey, this is me saying this on this day. You might need to do like a voice recording so that you keep your sanity, so you know this is what happened, this is what transpired. Because sometimes you have to get back to a place where you ground yourself in the truth. And that grounding in the truth can only happen when you know for sure this is what's going on. Oftentimes you're in those relationships and they just feel super crazy. You feel super lost. You feel super confused. What I try to do on a day-to-day basis through the videos, but especially working with people one-on-one, is I try to help them get unlost. Try to get them clear of the fog that's in their lives by these relationships that come in that are toxic, that gaslight, that manipulate, that future fake, that shed all this type of fog around people's lives and they can't see what's actually going on. And I try to break through that thought process and the story and underlying what's going on in the moment so they can get to the place that they can live in truth and you can live happy and healthy. If you want to talk someday or if you want to reach out, check it out. You can go to rawmotivations.com. You can click the link down below. Would love to be able to interact with you, to be able to help you understand that you're not crazy. And how you feel in this moment is actually normal compared to everything you've had to endure.